Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So guys, we are officially kicking off the Bleach marathon on my channel. We are kicking off covering Core 4 trailer. So this trailer was released last year, but this is my first time watching it. I wanted to not be spoiled, so let's check it out and let's break it down. Roll the opening credits of the trailer. So guys, you could clearly see that this small trailer, even though it didn't say much, but I think it said a lot as well. So this trailer, which is titled The Calamity, which is the theme for this upcoming Core 4, which is also the final core of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War arc, I have a lot of speculations. So if you guys haven't watched my first 2 episodes of my Bleach coverage, you guys could go check it out. So now that today we're covering the actual trailers, we're gonna go frame by frame and just kind of discuss what I could see. So one, we're seeing Ichigo's dual Zanpakutos and how, you know, how both of them fits perfectly into each other in some capacity. We're also seeing that it's giving this heavenly glow that represent Quincy and Hollow. The larger piece being the Hollow, and then the blue piece being the Quincy part of his powers. Now, I like how they're representing the 2 swords and the 2 halves of his being. Now, there's a video I did previously ago that basically mentioned that I think the Horn of Salvation is not the complete form of Ichigo's power, and I think what Yhwach saw in one of his plethora of dreams of his Almighty, right? Because you know that the Almighty could literally pick events that will happen and kind of like shift it to somewhere else where it doesn't affect the user. And we could see that in Ichigo's term, one of his blades got cut due to the fact that when he approached Yuha, and that's even in the manga, and that's where we left off, Ichigo stormed to Warwelt, which is the main castle of Yhwach, the Soul King, the living Soul King, because he literally absorbed his father. There's some interesting things. I think I'm praying that they do this. I think that Yhwach is going to be shocked that Ichigo's full form of his Horn Salvation is a merger between the final Getsuga and the Horn of Salvation form, which was his Vastalorde form, and combining it into a perfect sync, like in sync, will also give us the full version of the true Bankai of Ichigo. And I think having those 2 characters merge powers will be quite insane. And the fact that in the trailer, even though it's short, it says this is the final season. So whatever that comes after this will be the result of the Calamity after. So the aftermath of destroying a character like Yhwach and what shakes up the Bleach universe. Because everything has the consequences. I remember when the little Hellverse came out, I like how they were explaining the mythology of the 2 fishes, one absorbing the other, but eventually you need balance in everything. And I think destroying pieces of the Soul King also will resort into something even darker. And speaking of the Soul King, we know I mentioned this before, but we still don't know what happened to the Soul King's legs, and the fact that I love how the blue Vena is appearing on the final Zanpakuto blades, and then eventually it lights up and it transforms into, I guess, from Shikai to his Bunkai, and his Bunkai looks more like a Quincy and a Shimigami sword merged together. And then the fact that the two swords placed on each other becomes something even more interesting. I am gonna enjoy this core, and the fact that it shows like it's heating up, and then when it merges it becomes the Calamity, which is the title theme for the final season. Now, I also want to say that when this core airs, I will have a moment of silence for all of the Bleach fan that has not witnessed this, that has either passed away due to never seeing Bleach aired. We owe that to them. And for the franchise of the anime community of Bleach, I kindly says this: Bleach had the greatest comeback out of the big three, and I am excited to see what they're going to bring in the final core. And the fact that we got a glimpse of when Yhwach predicts something and then he shattered Ichigo's true Zanpakuto, and you know, there's a lot of little snippets of that trailer indicating like Yhwach cutting through faith in order for him to get defeated. I think there's so many things that they could do for this core, and I'm just praying that they bring back Haribel in some capacity, because I feel as if, I know in the manga she didn't do too much, but I think with the way that Kubo is retelling the core, because remember he was sick when all of this was happening, I think he's gonna do a great job and give every character some sort of closure and to be seen, because you know it's important. And I think I love how it faded from orange to completely white, and it basically described the Calamity. So guys, we're going to talk about the next trailer, which will give you more context of what the Calamity is going to be, but this is introduction of the first trailer. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and then I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.